Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of Ranking the Albums. Today we're going to look at the studio discography of, on paper, kind of a fairly new band, but a great band. All right, so, we talk about a lot of classic bands on this channel. But I also try to squeeze in as much as I can some of the bands that have appeared over the last decade, 5 years, 20 years, that sort of thing, which, in the scheme of rock and roll history, is a fairly newer band. Well, I would say none are better, for the most part, as far as capturing classic sounds but making them fresh and modern, than Los Angeles' own Rivalsons, a band who kind of burst on the scene in 2009, all right, really started to raise some eyebrows in 2011. Okay, so they've got not a lot of albums, all right? You got 6 albums in total. All right, 6 studio albums, no live ones yet. But I bet you when they decide to do a live album, it's going to be a good one. I know most bands, newer bands, don't really care much about live albums anymore. That was like a big thing in the 70s, right? But I think this band, if you've seen them live, you know what I'm talking about, would be great for a live album, okay? Because I think they're just so energetic. The songs are so great. The vocals are outstanding. The musicianship is stellar. So anyway, I digress. So I'm going to go through their studio albums. I'm going to rank them from my least favorite all the way to my favorite. I will say, not a bad album to be found here. Not at all. These guys have not released anything even approaching mediocre. Every release has been great, and arguably you could say every release has been better than the last one. For the most part, as I'm going to go through this, you'll see that I'm going to stick to that formula for the most part. But all these are good, and even the ones towards the bottom of my list are well worth your time. All right, they're really good. But you know what? Like I said, this band has just kept getting better and better and better, so obviously you're going to have to rank them as such, right? So I'm going to start off with their debut from 2009, Before the Fire. Okay. This album showed a lot of promise, all right? Again, people were kind of saying, that's kind of an interesting throwback to, like Led Zeppelin and Bad Company and Free and Humble Pie and maybe a little Cactus and maybe a touch of Sabbath, right? Grand Funk Railroad, that sort of thing. Bluesy hard rock from the 70s, all right? But these guys also had a little bit of like late 60s psychedelia to their sound, all right? And, this album, while not as kind of strong as some of their subsequent releases, I still think has some really good material on here. Tell Me Something, very good rocker. I love the fuzz guitar tones from Scott on here. You got Pocket Full of Stones, Oh My Way, Flames of Lanka, Lucky Girl. Good, catchy rock and roll. Good, catchy rock and roll. And a very good debut. Very good debut. I should talk about the guys in the band. So we've got Jay Buchanan on lead vocals, harmonica and spots, a phenomenal singer. I mean, he's kind of like the star of the band. But, he's got Scott Holiday on guitar. Also, very notable. These guys have the potential to be like the next, Page and Plant, Jagger, Richards. You know what I'm talking about, right? Scott's guitar tones are great. The king of the fuzz, as my friend Butch likes to always say. You got Mike Miley on drums and Dave Bestie on bass, backing vocals. All right. That's the current lineup of the band. Fantastic. I mean, these guys are so solid. They followed up that album with the first one that I actually heard. I got the debut afterwards, but the first one I actually heard, which I think is the album that got a lot of people talking, which is 2011's Pressure and Time. Specifically, that title track. Man, how Zeppelin-y is that title track. Killer drums and riffs, and man, the song is just heavy, yet catchy at the same time. You also got All Over the Road on here. All right, Burn Down Los Angeles, Gypsy Heart, White Noise, Face of Light. A lot of great songs on here. Very brief album. That's barely a half hour. But I think this really whet the appetite. And these guys were on Earache Records early on, which I think kind of, a great metal label, but it's a metal label, right? Mostly extreme metal. I think kind of stunted their kind of growth here in the U.S. specifically, because this is a U.S. band. And I think if you have not listened to the music of Rivalsons, once you do, you're like, God, how is this band not enormous here in this country? Okay? And granted, their stock is rising, but should have been rising years ago. All right, so in my opinion anyway. Okay, next on my list, again, as you can see, they're getting better each time out. 2012's Head Down. Another tremendous record, okay, a longer record, whereas the Pressure and Time album, very, very short, almost like EP length. Okay, Head Down, fully fledged album. A lot of great tunes on here. In fact, you got like about Baker's Dozen on here. You got Keep On Swinging, Wild Animal, Until the Sun Comes, Run from Revelation. Great song. You got the two-part Manifest Destiny. All the Way, The Heist, Three Fingers. Good, crisp rock and roll. Again, also throw a little bit of the Faces in there too, because their songs have that kind of like party hard rock attitude, right? It's fun, it's bluesy, okay, a little psychedelia dripping in, especially with some of the guitar tones. It just, this music takes you back to like, 1968 through like 1975. It really does. But they don't rip off riffs and all that kind of stuff. It's just their music. Yeah, the influence is there, but the songs are very original despite having the influence. They're not remaking all songs from the past. All right, so here we're going to see a little bit of change in my ranking, and I debated this one back and forth because I love both of these albums. I'm going to go next with 2016's Hollow Bones. And, it's debatable whether I truly like this one a little bit less than the one that's going to come next. I love them both, but man, I think I like some of the songs that are going to come next on my next one just a tiny bit more. But this is a great album. Of course, this was recorded in Nashville, Tennessee. It's got the amazing Hollow Bones tracks. You got parts 1 and part 2. One shows up early, one shows up later. You got the incredible thundering voices. All right. The killer raucous Tied Up. All right, you got Baby Boy, another great catchy hard rock tune. You got their remake of Black Coffee, of course, the old Ike and Tina Turner classic, also remade successfully by Humble Pie and done exceptionally well, I will say, by Rival Sons. Fade Out, All That I Want, great stuff on here. Just a terrific album that I think only gets better with age. I dig it. I love the album cover. Very cool artwork. Next up, I'm going to go with this one. Okay, like I said, I kind of went back and forth here. I'm going to go with 2014's Great Western Valkyrie. And, like I said, I think, also recorded in Nashville, by the way, I think the reason why I went with this one is there's a couple songs on here that are just absolutely amazing. You got Electric Man and Good Luck, The Killer Play the Fool. All right, Open My Eyes, Rich and the Poor, Where I've Been, The Incredible Destination on Course. All right, Good Luck. Just a lot of great songs on here, and I think some amazing fuzz tone guitar riffs. I am a sucker for those. So there's the guys in the band right there. I am a sucker for great, heavy, fuzzy riffs, and there's a boatload of them on here. All right. So, of course, my number one is going to be the most recent one. And that's Pharaoh Roots from 2019. Okay. This was my favorite album of last year. And as such, it had to be the top of the list because I think this is this for me is the culmination of all that has come before it. And I think Rival Sons as a band have hit, and maybe, hopefully there's more, but they have hit their absolute peak so far. Being a band now for about a decade, okay, a little over a decade, I think this is the kind of culmination of everything they've done so far. It's just so addicting. Like I said, it's got the 70s heavy rock. It's got the psych, all right? It's got the classic rock and roll style. Just some amazing songs on here, Too Bad, great song. The title track is absolutely killer. All right, and a lot of kind of Zeppelin-y feel on here, and and not Zeppelin kind of like what Greta Van Fleet is doing, fine band on their own, but they're basically taking a formula, right, doing it very well. These guys have plenty of the Zeppelin stuff going on as well, but more so in that they're injecting so much variety into their music and into their albums. Okay. And, I think, obviously, the vocals are just, if you love Paul Rodgers, man, how can you not love this stuff, right? Do Your Worst, Sugar on the Bone, great song, Back in the Woods, Imperial Joy, All Directions, End of Forever, top to bottom, Shooting Stars. I mean, I could just sit and name all 11 songs on here. They're all incredible. This is just such a fully realized album with just one great hard rock, bluesy hard rock song after another. And again, I have a real hard time kind of coming to grips with why this band is not absolutely enormous. And, I get it because, in 2020, 2019, whatever, it's like, as a world, we are not most music, people who listen to music don't buy albums anymore. It's all about the songs, all about what's hip and popular and all that kind of stuff, and I get that. But I think for a lot of folks out there who are long-time hard rock or classic rock lovers, okay, but basically have taken the stance that there's been nothing good that's been recorded or released since 1990, and then you love all those bands like the Stones and Zeppelin and the Faces and Grand Funk and Bad Company, on and on and on. You need to listen to these guys. Trust me. If you listen to nothing else I say on this channel, all right, listen to that and go and listen to this band. All right, I'm telling you. I can't tell you how many people I have turned on to Rival Sons who had never heard them before and absolutely love them now. Right? If you got to see them on the Black Sabbath The End tour, right? They opened up that whole tour. They were sensational. I think that was what really started to get them noticed more to a larger audience, obviously. But if you're still one of those people who have not listened to Rival Sons, do yourself a favor. Go wherever you go, listen to it. Here on YouTube, wherever. Go listen to Feral Roots. Okay, go listen to any of these other albums that I mentioned here. Head Down or the Valkyrie album or whatever. Go listen to them. Okay, trust me. And then you'll be wanting to go buy them. They're that good. Fantastic vocals, immediately catchy songs, great hard rock fuzzy riffs, great solos, kick-ass grooves. I mean, it just doesn't get much better than this, guys. Doesn't get much better than this if you love 70s music. All right, trust me on that. So let's recap my list, shall we? All right, because that's what we do here. All right, so coming in at number 1, we're going to go with Feral Roots. Coming in at number 2, the Great Western Valkyrie. Number 3, Hollow Bones. Number 4, Head Down. Number 5, Pressure in Time. And number 6, Before the Fire. There you have it, the Great Rival Sons. Please go check them out. All right, I'm pleading with you. Go check them out. If you go listen to all these albums and you come back to me and say, Pete, yeah, not really my thing, at least you gave it a try. But I have a hard time thinking there's anybody who's going to say that. All right. So this is on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, of course, we're here on the mighty YouTube all the damn time. Coming up today, we're got a couple new product reviews for you. New albums that I've been talking about. We got Psychotic Waltz and Archon Angel, so that's coming up today as well, so you don't want to miss those. And coming up in the days ahead, more Ranking the Studio albums, more top 10 songs, more new product shows, all sorts of good stuff in the works, so you don't want to miss any of it. Tomorrow we're going to do a check-in and see what everybody's listening to today, or tomorrow actually, so we'll do that tomorrow too, and see what everybody's got going on to help escape from all this insanity that's going on around us. So you don't want to miss that either. All right, guys, so we'll see you tomorrow and later. All right, take care. Bye-bye.